Do you have versatile interests and a flexible mind? Do you enjoy communication and feel the need to exchange ideas? Is there a desire for change? And in the negative case, are you superficial, easily distracted, or unstable? Do you wish to start 1,000 things, preferably all at the same time, but you don't always finish them? Do you have these characteristic personality traits which are typical for Gemini? Or do you know people in your social contexts who express these qualities? In this video, we will tell you about the zodiacal sign of Gemini and its meaning in your horoscope, and we will reveal to you especially the basic characteristics and traits of Gemini according to Qabbalistic astrology. At the end of this video, we will give you a short and clear summary of all the key facts about Gemini you will need to know for astrological interpretation. Brotherhood of the Eternal Light, teaching the Western mysteries. The zodiacal sign of Gemini. Mercury communicates about 1,000 things in Gemini. Exchange of ideas and a flexible mind he values high. The astrological symbol of Gemini shows the number 2 in Roman numerals. Gemini is an air sign with mutable quality. The sun moves through Gemini every year from approximately May 20th to 21st until June 19th to 20th. The active growth impulse of spring awakening, which finds expression in Aries, gradually took shape in Taurus. The period of Gemini now includes the change of the seasons from spring towards the beginning of summer. The mutable quality stands for the transition to the next stage. The current season begins to dissolve so that a new one can appear. Gemini is about to transition from growth in spring to full bloom and ripeness in summer. A fitting example is the image of several insects buzzing, flying here and there, apparently without any fixed plan or aim, which makes the air vibrate. We can use this image as a symbol for the versatile, airy, communicative, and mutable quality of the air sign Gemini. We also find the principle of communication elucidated in the symbol of Gemini, because for real communication a second person is needed, which is represented by the symbol of Gemini and the twins that we see in the image. The ideals of Gemini are versatile interests and communication. The potential problem of Gemini is incoherency. The third house corresponds to Gemini. This is about communication, thinking, and short travels. Basic Kabbalistic meaning. Gemini is associated with the tarot card, the Lovers, which, among other things, stands for a conscious connection and communication of the mortal personality with the immortal higher self. At the Qabbalistic Tree of Life, we find the assignment of Gemini to the 17th path, that which leads from Binah to Tiferet. For further information on Qabbalah, visit our online courses or workshops, link in the description. Mythology of Gemini. The story which corresponds to the sign of Gemini in Greek mythology is that of the inseparable twins Castor and Polydeuces, better known as Pollux, which is the Latin version of his name. According to legend, Leda, the mother of the twins, received her son Castor through her husband King Tyndareus of Sparta. Thus, Castor was of mortal origin. Polydeuces, however, she received from the ruler of gods, Zeus, who had approached her in the form of a white swan, and therefore Polydeuces was of divine origin and accordingly immortal. In a dispute with her companions Lynceus and Idas, a fight broke out, which only Polydeuces survived. He was so desperate because of the loss of his twin brother Castor that Zeus offered him to either stay on Mount Olympus, but without his beloved brother, or to live with him for 12 hours of the day in the underworld, in the dark Hades, and 12 hours in divine heaven. Polydeuces opted for the latter. The twins were placed by Zeus as a constellation in the sky. In this story, the astrological level of meaning is presented only very indirectly. Rather, a spiritual component is revealed that is important for the Western mystery tradition. This is represented by the meaning of the tarot card, the Lovers, which deals with the essential theme of the union of the higher immortal self with the lower mortal self of man. The astrological dignities of Gemini. Gemini is the domicile of Mercury. Mercury shows how and in which areas we use our mind and communicate. The spiritual principle underlining Mercury at the Qabbalistic Tree of Life is the Sephirah Hod. Hod represents the principle of analytical thinking. The basic power of Mercury, clarity of mind, can unfold particularly well in the air sign Gemini, which is about communication and versatility. There is mental flexibility, and a flexible application of the mind can be well developed. There is also the ability to express one's thoughts clearly and to absorb, collect, and process a variety of impressions. Gemini is the exile of Jupiter. Jupiter shows our moral concepts and our worldview. The spiritual principle which underlies Jupiter on the Kabbalistic tree of life is the Sephirah Chesed. Chesed represents the principle of benevolence and order. Therefore, Jupiter cannot adequately express itself in Gemini. Jupiter is concerned about the great picture, a fixed order that can enable orientation and growth, and about following an established moral principle. None of this can take a proper form in Gemini, because here the big picture and the similarities dissipate themselves into many smaller varying details. Also, an agile and flexible mind may resist a settled order, because it is less interested in an overriding principle, but more in the variety of impressions and interests. In Gemini, no planet is in its exaltation or fall. And now we present a brief summary of the most important astrological facts about Gemini. The astrological symbol of Gemini shows the number 2 in Roman numerals. The sun moves through Gemini every year from approximately May 20th until June 20th. Gemini is an air sign with mutable quality. The third house corresponds to Gemini. This is about communication, thinking, and short travels. The ideals of Gemini are versatile interests and communication. The problem of Gemini is incoherency. Gemini is the domicile of Mercury and the exile of Jupiter. In Gemini, there are no planets in exaltation or fall. These are the most important details about the zodiacal sign of Gemini. Were you born between May 20th and June 20th? Or do you have several planets in your birth chart in the sign of Gemini, or in the third house? You are welcome to tell us in the comments how these constellations affect you, or maybe you know somebody who you would describe as a typical Gemini personality. Please tell us more about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please support us by giving us a like and subscribe to our channel. If you would like to be notified about new videos, then activate the bell. Thank you, and see you soon in our next video.